The final match of the night is now on the way, on the cards, as it were, as we have our two remaining players. One of them will advance on to the round of 16. One will fall down to challenger. It's going to be MaNa taking on TLO.
The last game of the evening, after a very short evening, bear in mind.
Yeah.
Very short, only 2 hours or just over 2 hours. But here are the two players, as you can see. TLO from Team Liquid versus MaNa from Team Mouse Sports. Both players being in their respective teams for many a year now.
Oh, yeah. MaNa signing on once again about, let's say, 6 months back. And very, very loyal to Mouse Sports. Doing pretty well for himself. One can only imagine that actually MaNa, when he re-signed onto Mouse Sports, he had a lot of teams after him because it was the height of his performance as a foreigner, and well, he's stuck with them.
He's the #1 earning Protoss player outside of Korea until recently, when Naniwa did overtake with his incredible performances at DreamHack and at MLG and whatnot, gaining him the prize money to overtake MaNa, but not by much. It's like a $10,000 difference. So, you know, I think MaNa in his StarCraft 2 career earnings has got $96,000.
Yes.
Now, that's a lot of money over 2.5 years. If you look at that over 2.5 years, just break down a little bit more, but then you got salary included and maybe mishaps of misputting information in there. So he's made a lot of money playing StarCraft. And he lives in Poland, so he's made a lot of money.
Yes.
Translates very well in Polish money.
1 to 4, I believe. In from euros to Polish zlotna. It could be zlotna or zloty, but either one, it's near enough. Sorry, Polish fans.
TLO, though, has made money himself in StarCraft 2, but only starting to really get to where it matters. You know, gaining a lot of round of 8 finishes in recent, a lot of round of 16 finishes. Very consistent. Weirdly, is that TLO, I'd actually go as far as to say TLO is probably the most consistent non-Korean at this point. Naniwa was doing very well. I don't think TLO is the strongest, but he's definitely a contender for top 3 in recent times. But he's always consistent. Round of 16, round of 16, round of 8, round of 8, round of 16. Always around that area until he's broken through where he made his first semi-final, which is at Home Story Cup, and able to take that 3rd place. Let's see what he can do in Season 2. Remember, 5th place he got last season. MaNa only made it in the round of 32. He fell in the round of 32.
And now we jump into the potential final, well, the final series of the night with the first game here, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, Red Protoss representing Poland. He is MaNa. And spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Zerg representing Germany, we have Liquid TLO.
And for you guys tuned into the broadcast or tuned in halfway through, if you didn't know already, they've already played today. And TLO crushed.
Yes.
2-0. MaNa tried to, in the first game, he tried to go for a DT play to hurt TLO into an Archon Blink follow-up. Got completely shut down. The DT didn't even kill a drone. And then the follow-up just got crushed by Ling Hydra. And that was the thing we talked about just before, is MaNa likes to build strategies around his opponent on what their tendencies are, which is his biggest weakness. And in the second game, we saw MaNa try to go for an Immortal Colossus playbook, get it scouted early, and turned it into a Gateway Immortal 3rd base, which again, got beat down eventually.
And not too good position to be in here now. MaNa, he has to look back at that series and take a few things away from it. The fact that TLO was so composed and very, very well defended. And MaNa, I mean, where do you think he goes here, Sean? Does he go into a full-blown macro game, or does he try 2 base plays? What are you feeling?
On this map, again, it's not one of the best maps to play on. Good builds on this map are, again, 2 base plays, whether it be a Mortal Colossus play is actually a very strong build. Warp Prison play can work out well here. I think there was one game from GSL. No, was it GSL? Yeah. Okay, sorry. WCS was first against Lenok maybe on this map, where it was like Phoenix play into Warp Prism, because the Phoenix is clear the Overlord pathway, and the Warp Prism can aim towards the ramp. Or that's a good build here.
Fully remember now.
Or you can just suck it up and try to play macro, like MC did against Hyun in Home Story Cup. Suck it up, take a 3rd base like a man, and try to deal with what the Zerg's going to do to you.
And just in case you did actually miss the previous games, it's important to note that TLO hasn't lost a series to MaNa since 2011. And that didn't end today. TLO also beat him prior before 2-0. So MaNa, if he's able to take the victory over TLO here, that is going to be his first victory, his first broadcasted victory over TLO for a long, long time.
And I noticed that TLO was building a extractor, then cancelled it. It was again the same reason like on Whirlwind, because he didn't know if his opponent was opening Gateway Expand or not. And then he saw the pylon down on the low ground, was like, oh, okay, Nexus. Bam, cancel it, earlier third. We talked about that in the previous cast, that it did slow him down a little bit to get Zergling speed so early against a player who's got Nexus first, when you don't need Zergling speed that early. You don't need it. You can go much more economy focused here.
Yeah, he's just having a little bit of a look around. The entirety of the map here is TLO, making sure that his opponent isn't doing anything too crazy, and that gives him extra reassurance to know that he can go for that economy focus. Right now with MaNa throwing down that cybernetics core, getting himself fully up and running. Well, he eventually has to push these overlords away, but he has a lot of room to kind of high-tech it here and there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of room, but TLO's got two main angles where he's going to come from. Again, every Zerg player always has two angles, main base and natural. And it's going to be down to MaNa to help prevent that, or at least hide in the appropriate place if he does try to do something, but that may not be the case. I have seen MaNa, another thing that I've seen him do a lot, this is not so, I mean, I talked about earlier what good Protoss builds are here against Zerg, but what MaNa has done a lot in his games is really early third bases. As in one gateway, then third. Like off of this, he could take a third soon-ish. Super greedy.
Yeah.
Super greedy. Backed up, you know, by a lot of gateways and cannons and whatnot, and a mothership core for the photon overcharge. But we'll see.
Well, he's going to go for a Stargate opener here to kick things off. But you're right. I mean, that's been a Mousesport's favorite for a long time. Hasu Obs is somebody who's advocated that really early third since midway through Wings of Liberty and done it a lot, as has MaNa. So it was certainly on the cards, but the tech is going to be the option here with that Stargate opener.
And MaNa's chosen to follow this up with a Stalker to help scout, to prevent scouting, and also is 50 gas less than a Sentry, which offers him the ability to tech switch a lot easier here, especially because he's taking the gases on the natural. The Overlord inside the main base,
I think it's
is
just
coming
miss
in,
it.
but it's this pylon of Stargate is very well placed, where he may miss it, and the Stalker's going to get to, sharp turn.
Yeah,
nice turn there, and he spots it.
Very good there, as well, there was another Overlord heading into the natural as well. So TLO was trying to cover all of the bases, or all of the base, quite literally. He has a little. That Overlord will die, but it served its purpose. It sees Phoenix in production. It saw a Chrono Boost go down. All the information TLO needs right now is there to his fingertips. And
now he started the layer as soon as he saw that. He'll want to throw down an Evolution Chamber. A single one, you don't want to go two because you need a lot of units down fast. And then we'll see that Hydralisk Den is the most common response. But look, the robotics facility, after only 2 Phoenixes, he stopped Phoenix production. And this, he's got to build a third one, because he can't just go around floating around the map with 2 Phoenix, right?
Useless.
It's very obvious that you've just built 2 Phoenix. So if you keep it up after, but he's ramped in the robotics facility, this is either going to be for a Warp Prism if he throws down gateways very soon, or an Immortal Colossus play. One of the two. One of the two.
He's got extra sentries in production. I think he's got +1 weapons on the way as well.
He's kind of boosting the gateway for an extra sentry.
Yeah.
And if he gets a Warp Prism, he'd have 3 sentries or 4 by the time this comes. He may go for that Warp Prism play.
He's got his probe in position to throw down a few more gateways as well. If he goes Warp Prism, we've seen this recently. We talked about it at the start of the game. And it's a scary thing to go for. There's the Warp Prism now on the way. Now, how much coverage does TLO have?
None. None. Overlord's being cleared out. A perfect strategy here. And the destination is the ramp. Look how close it is from no vision range to ramp. This could work out incredibly well here, depending on how TLO does he move Overlords again? Does he have units in the main base ready to accept something like this? Remember, he doesn't know the follow-up. He really doesn't know exactly what's going on. MaNa, a lot of gateways. He's going to go for it. This is going to end one way or the other. The Hydralisk and Lings are already coming, but where will they be when this comes down? A Mothership Core and Zealot on the third is kind of hinting that a third is coming down. Kind of hinting, but not 100% suggesting that.
I like what TLO's doing, getting that muscular augments to try and keep those Hydralisks very mobile. That might have been for an assault, though, as right now, again, he's not going to have the vision. The Phoenixes check once again to make sure that the pathway is done. Zerglings moved down to a location to try and set the vision of that, but they wouldn't have done in the end. It was too late. Phoenix fly in, catch off 1 or 2 Hydralisks, and now that Warp Prism is on the way.
He's got to get the force field down on the ramp. Oh, is he going to do it?
Oh, well, actually, all the Hydralisks actually moved down from the main as well. They would have been fantastic there if they would have been there to utilize, but no. The Overseer keeps an eye on everything that's going on.
There's a lot of roaches coming out, though.
Is he going to have enough units?
Been moved into position to deal damage to the Warp Prism. He's got to keep the force fields down on this ramp, but also not lose the sentries.
Yeah, drones come off the line. He knows he needs to kill off those sentries. He's actually going to get one of them with the drones there. No. Oh, it got away. Somehow, it got away from the drones. He picks up once again. He has to throw down extra force fields.
Great micro here by MaNa, doing a good job. Zealot's getting warped in. He moved away from the Warp Prism, moved away from the Queen.
He's only got 2 sentries left here, though, so he has to be very, very careful indeed. The Hydralisk Den is now under assault. He needs to pick up some of those Hydras that are assaulting those Zealots. And at the same time now, he has energy for 1 or 2 more force fields, not much else. Look how many units are on that ramp being kept at bay.
Yeah, MaNa, is he going to be able to pull this off here? He needs to chrono boost his gateways and warping a bunch of stuff. He's got so much money.
No more force fields. No more force fields. No more Warp Prism. The floodgates are about to open. TLO is about to get in, and he's controlled this. Despite taking a lot of losses, he's controlled this fantastically.
Perfect again by TLO. He really is looking unbreakable.
Yeah.
Just a solid defense. The drones coming off, the Spore Crawler movement, the Queens, the consistent lava injects on his other hatcheries. And now MaNa is like, crap. Like, now the robotic space coming down, the sentries warped in at home. I don't think he can't defend this, man. Not without Colossus. Yeah. He needs Colossus. There's so many Hydralisks. They're getting +2 attack on the way. The creep spread's pretty decent. TLO is just looking so good in recent times.
Yeah, he is. 134 supply to 98. He's going to start barraging this Nexus that's trying to go down. He needs this base to go up. That's the only feasible transition he could go for to try and play this out into a later game. But no, TLO is going to deny that. He's going to keep his opponent completely pinned in 2 bases. Takes his own 4th behind this. He doesn't care if he loses some of these units at the front. He knows he's done the damage.
Oh, I'm trapped in by force fields. Let me kill your cybernetics core. You know, very simple game here from TLO. He has many options to choose from to follow this up with, whether he goes straight up towards a Hive and gets Vipers to blinding cloud this simple army or pull in the Colossus, whether he makes a complete switch over to Mutalisk, considering that there's 2 Stalkers and 20 million sentries. So he's got a lot of options to choose from at this point. With the 4th base coming down, it's nothing but a winning position that TLO is in, and he's put himself in that just by playing this out well.
It's funny to note that I think that MaNa in this final series would have probably rather have faced MMA in comparison to facing TLO again.
I believe so.
Because, again, speaking to MaNa before this, he felt that his PvT had improved a lot. But now he hasn't had an opportunity at all to play those Terrans. He's constantly ran up against the Zergs here, the Zerg in the form of TLO, and TLO right now kind of has MaNa's number. I don't know how MaNa is going to play this out.
Yeah, MaNa's always fallen victim to different Zerg players, whether it be Nurchio, Stefano, TLO. In recent times at the Home Story Cup, he lost versus Gosu users, Stefano again, Hyun, DreamHack he lost versus Violet. You know, these are all great players. But he's always fallen victim to it. In his strength, in his strong, strengthened up days in 2012 in Wings of Liberty, he was always about PvP and PvT.
Yeah.
And it was always like, can MaNa dodge Protoss versus Zerg? If he can, then he's going to do great. It seems to be the same today as well.
Seems to be. He's trying to transition onto that 3rd base. In his defense, he's actually getting it up and running to a certain degree. Templar Archives is going down behind this as well. But unfortunately for MaNa right now, TLO is going to be always 1 step ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, well, those Zealots are doing a pretty good job up at the 4th.
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to kill it, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is that MaNa's got is the Templar Archives. You said it really well there. The one thing that saves MaNa and will enable him to continue playing this game and not be kicked out with TLO's next attack, if he warps in Templar immediately, as in right now, and if he can get the feedback onto the only 2 Vipers that there are, his Colossus will remain alive, and he continues to play in this game. If not, if he doesn't get the feedbacks and the Vipers pull the Colossus before then he could be in trouble. 200 supply versus 144. It's all about the feedbacks.
Look at the assault location, though, that this is going to be coming in from. The angle that TLO may end up taking with his army all up at the top. Well, is he pulling back? Was this just a misclick?
I'm not 100% certain what that was.
Yeah.
But behind this, he's already made the switch over to the Ultras Cavern and melee upgrades coming in. He's getting Carapace for future switch to Broodlords or whatever, you know, help out the Vipers.
And even the frontal evolution chambers here so that he can drain extra energy with those Vipers a little bit quicker to then either make them very useful at the beginning or get them into the fray again after an attack or an assault to kick things off. So a second assault would be all the more quicker because he needs the energy to make those work.
It seemed like TLO didn't want to go with just 2 Vipers. He decided to wait until 4. It did delay his attack by quite a bit and has allowed MaNa to close the gap from 200 supply to 144 to 174 now. So it's not just about the abductions anymore. It's it's a lot more. MaNa isn't too bad of a position, but still, TLO is still leading by far.
Yeah, TLO gave him quite a bit of room, and now will he give him even more? It depends on how this engagement's actually going to go down. Good force fields as well as some of those feedbacks. One of the Colossus does get pulled forward and goes down instantaneously, along with the blinding cloud. Not really helping out too much though as MaNa. Micro's right back out of it. Great force fields once again in the end, but does he have enough to crush this army? TLO's army was huge. I think he should be able to hold it back for just a second. The time warps go down as well to try and hold this off. But more zealots up to the top left, so he didn't do too badly there.
Fantastic force fields, fantastic Colossus micro. That was probably one of the better fights that MaNa could have taken. If that was played out over 10 times in a row, he played that out probably the best that he could have done out of all 10. And now the next stage comes in. Can MaNa start to build up the Void Ray composition, get Storm down, get Zealots charged, increase his upgrades? Because look at the production tab.
Yeah.
TLO's lead is in the production tab. 5 Ultralisk, Adrenal Glands, +3 attack for Roach Hydra, +1 Carapace, +2 Carapace, +2 melee attack. All these upgrades coming in is where his advantage lies, and that's going to really show in the next fight because he has a great composition. Without Void Rays or Archons in the mix yet, he's not really equipped to deal with Ultralisks.
I feel that ideally here, TLO takes a fight pretty soon, right? Because if those Void Rays get out and running, then he's going to have a bit of a tough time. But TLO now, he's in a great position of power. 153 supply on MaNa. Army supplies, 121 to 91. It's going to all be about whether he can defend himself at that third base.
And there is no possible harassment here from MaNa. He doesn't have a pylon or a warpism around. He has to keep taking straight fights.
Those Ultralisks actually moving in first to try and tank a lot of this damage, kill off one of the cannons, but the SimCity that those provide actually allow some of those Ultralisks to die very quickly. One of the Ultralisks comes in from the back to try and cleave up some of those Colossi, but in the end, one of them goes down to those Hydralisks at the front. Not too bad a position there for TLO, pushing on once again from every single angle, killing off so much of this army. It doesn't matter. Brute force pushes on through for TLO. He's got little left, but MaNa's got even less.
Yeah, he's got even less and is about to have his third breach. And with the third base going down, this just pushes his economy too low to keep in the game. Good game, and TLO rides the advantage from holding off the Warp Prism play, taking his time. Composure, again, a really key part of TLO's play, I feel, is able to wait until take one good attack, good economy, not taking damage to counterattacks, which is very important in keeping a lead, and then eventually finishing MaNa off.
There's a lot of players, there's a lot of Zergs out there that when a Warp Prism Sentry Assault like that hits, they fall apart, they crumble, there's nothing left for it. But TLO played that out really, really nicely, and from that point on, MaNa not having that third base up and running and then it coming a little bit late. Although he didn't do too badly in the first engagement, but TLO always had the greater economy behind it and the greater tech to go for those trades, so he didn't need to trade as cost effectively as the Protoss did.
And you know, I think the moral of the entire of the day is that cheesy play and aggressive tactics may not be the best way to play all the time. Artosis, a big fan of that kind of play, likes to play straight up every game. And you know, the reason's very simple, because if you do it and it doesn't work, you play from such a disadvantaged position that why would you even put yourself in that position in the first place? Why not just play straight up? And that's the question that a lot of people have to ask themselves. For example, MaNa now coming into the next map on Whirlwind. Do I do something again? Do I try an Archon build again against TLO, who likes Zergling Ultralisk on a big map like Whirlwind? You know, all these thoughts directed at one person right now in this series, and that's MaNa. TLO doesn't give a damn. He's 3-0 versus MaNa today.
Yep, he's doing pretty well for himself. All TLO has to do is play straight up once again here on Whirlwind. We've already seen that TLO, despite not being able to defeat MMA, he's well versed on Whirlwind. But we shall see now as we load in to game number 2. Could be the final game of the night, guys, as we have now Mr. MaNa and TLO going one-on-one, mono-on-mono. Spawn down to the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Zerg. One win away from advancing on to the round of 16. He is Liquid TLO.
Game paused.
Game paused.
Perfect.
It'll only be a second. It's like a music song change, door. Keyboard not working.
He's like, keyboard stopped working. How are you typing then? Oh, I'm using the on-screen keyboard to type this out right now. And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Protoss, we have Mao's MaNa.
All right, so we do have the mini USB plug is the problem.
The mini one.
I think because, if I'm not mistaken, Mouse is sponsored by Ro32.
Yes, they are.
And they play with the Black Widow Tournament Edition keyboard, I think.
Yep, I like
TLO
it.
and MaNa both play with that. And their USB is actually attached into the keyboard. It's got the little
one.
It's got the very mini USB
Yeah.
attached at the top of the keyboard.
A lot of keyboards have that now.
I don't know why they do have that. I spoke with TLO about it. I don't know if it's to help packing, because you can unplug the cord and then put it in the bag. I don't think it's that big of a deal, though. I think most bags accommodate that anyway. I mean, the big bags.
Dude, if I'm packing up my keyboard, I just wrap the cable around it. Good to go.
That's what pro players have always done in the beginning of time. And I think it's an accommodation thing for bags and whatnot. That's the reason for it, apparently. It looks like I'm going to find out the real reason in a minute. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. But TLO, though, is not a fan of the detachable USB.
Don't know if people can hear frantic scribbling in the microphone.
Frantic scribbling coming in, apparently, and we'll find out the reason in a moment. But we do have Spawn and Pull first into followed at Hatchery, compared to Nexus first by MaNa. Just two very, textbook openings, right?
Yeah,
Spawn and Pull Hatchery. Very surprising that we aren't seeing Hatchery first from TLO, but he was scouted very early by first position, so never really had the opportunity to do so. But I think he would have liked to. I mean, TLO loves it, right?
Yeah, you usually can get away with it on this map. And for the most part, he certainly could have got away with it the first time he played MaNa, because he was scouted last. But this game, no, scouted first. MaNa does like to scout clockwise, and that means that's actually very predictable.
All right, so we've got the reason for the reason what the Black Widow thingy-majig has the cable. It's so you don't have to wrap the cable around your keyboard, causing the cable stress and damage at the connection to the keyboard.
Dude, Kenny right looks like a doctor. I can't read that at all.
I'm really good at reading. Yeah, so there's the reason for that. Kind of a backstory log on both these players. But anyway, coming into the game now. So we have the probe that's going to get picked off in a moment by TLO. Stutter stepping his way to victory against that probe, making sure he's always close, and we'll be able to get that nice and easy.
Yeah,
there we go.
And Zergling's poking up at the front. Shouldn't be able to get in, though. That probe, actually, they can nibble that probe. And they will do. And they actually will get in with that cannon not finishing up. So that's annoying there, as he cancelled the extra gateway. But an irritation here for MaNa that he's going to have to deal with. Only 2 Zerglings. Generally, if it's like 3 or 4 Zerglings, then there's the potential that probes can die. But MaNa being a very, very strong player just in general, he shouldn't really lose a probe here.
And he actually chrono boosted both his gateways. And actually, no, not chrono boosted gateways. He built a Zealot to deal with them, and it delayed his cybernetics core. Not a big thing, but if you're trying to play out normal, MaNa's 5-10 seconds behind where he should be, just because TLO forced 2 Zerglings to come in, and he may even be able to pick up a probe kill. Small details, but at this level of play, when you do that, this is small edges, 10 seconds behind now, a probe behind.
That was a good pick off there from Lee. Oh, and he got another one. Did he save the Zergling? Oh, he got 1 Zergling in the end. 4 workers have died off during the entire... Oh, yeah, you've got to remember that there was that 1 probe at the front as well, as the scouting probe.
All right.
Or a scouting probe.
He's killed 4 workers overall throughout this game, right? Did I just see that?
Yeah. That's really impressive there by TLO.
So let me just tell you. In 5 minutes worth of game time, having lost 4 probes, if they were all mining and never lost 1, and granted there's another one out on the map too, he's lost around 700 minerals.
That's a
700 to 800 minerals lost already in this game, and behind in cybernetics core tech.
That's pretty brutal.
That's a lot of damage taken already.
Yeah.
Because if you think that a single probe mines 40 minerals a minute, let's put 5 minutes. I'm losing 5 probes now. That's a lot. That's a lot of resource loss. Granted, you are meant to lose at least 1 probe in this stage of the game.
Yeah.
A second one, not so much. But still, you shouldn't be losing that much income so early on.
These small things that add up later on. Losing probes early on is far more deadly than it is if you lose them later on. When you've got a strong economy, you've got the ability to get them out again. You might even not want that many probes later on, considering that you want a bit more of a bigger army and considering how many bases you're on. But now MaNa, he's going for that Stargate play.
With the, that disadvantage, talking about losing 700 to 800 minerals, as a Protoss player with the Chrono Boost, you can shift the disadvantage onto another area. For example, if you chrono boost probes back out faster than you would be building them normally, you can improve that income deficit. But to the downside, you are not chrono boosting the Stargate immediately, or the Warp Gate, or +1, or the Gateway. You take it from something to replenish what you've lost. So he is playing from behind in this game, just trying to explain the finer details of our beautiful game that is StarCraft 2.
It's a very beautiful one indeed. MaNa now getting out a sentry here just to keep himself held at the front. Did that Overlord see the Stargate play? No, it did not.
It did not, no.
It's a little bit more in the dark today, and that's in this game even, and that's why MaNa's going up to the 4 here so he can surprise his opponent. But at the same time, TLO has pneumatized Carapace, so he should be able to save. Well, actually, there's not that many Overlords on the field.
Well, it's more for scouting than anything else. In these positions, it's very difficult to scout, and he decided to delay his upgrades by a little bit just to get a bit more information on his opponent with an Overlord coming into the main base. And he is going to be playing that Zergling-heavy style. So the Zergling-heavy style is weak against a lot of Zealots and Sentries, of course, naturally, which is why the Baneling Nest has been added on to deal with that threat. We've seen it in other rounds, other areas for TLO. You borrow Banelings coming in from flanks.
He just barely, with the Overlord, saw the Robo facility. I'm wondering if he clicked on it or not, but it doesn't really matter at this point, as MaNa is trying to do quite a bit of damage here economically to his opponent. How many workers has he killed off? He's killed off 5, so technically he's evened up how many workers have died off, but of course, Liquid TLO during the entirety of this has been powering up economy, and his economy is not going to take as big a hit as MaNa's did early on.
So, I mean, he's taken a bit of damage. I mean, 8 drones have been killed by the Phoenixes. And he's killed a few Overlords, so he is doing a nice bit of damage. When you play Zergling heavy, he's absolutely going to be trying to slow the third base down. So the Robotics Bay will have to come down before he even decides to take the third base. He needs the Colossus to take the third base. But meanwhile, TLO is getting Burrow too. This is in case any 2-base plays come, but MaNa is not going to do that, I don't think, here. He's going to try and take his third very shortly. There's
the Robotics Bay going down as well here. Currently sitting at around 600 minerals is MaNa, so just kind of powering up, I guess, on this map as he's killing off a few more Overlords. So he's certainly making these Phoenix pay for themselves. He's getting these bang for his buck, but with 387 minerals resources lost for MaNa, as opposed to 1,200 for TLO. The Zergling's being annoying at the front.
Ooh, he might have to...
Ooh. Oh yeah, he certainly might have to throw some force fields.
Yeah. He should be okay with force fields, but the problem is these Zerglings are 1-1, and there's no upgrades on the Zealots. So all the pressure, the 34-6, 36 Lings coming in, are going to deny that third base if he tries to take it without a Colossus, keeping MaNa back, very far back behind here. MaNa is thrown down the Twilight Cancel. I believe he's going to go over to Archons quite fast in this game. Taking a new third base.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And the Lings are going to see that, so TLO does get confirmation fully. I mean, it technically could be a Nexus cancel, but I highly doubt that from MaNa. It's not something that he does favor, as the Grooved Spines are on the way as well here for TLO. So laying into Hydralisk, he's liking this play quite a lot recently.
Yeah, Ling Hydralisk very good against 2-base plays here, but MaNa's managed to find himself a third base and create a wall off here.
Good position, although a lot of Zerglings crashing into the wall at the natural. Don't think they're going to be able to penetrate that, though, as a lot of the Zerglings and whoa, they do get a surround on the majority of these units. Good force fields in the end. The Zealots not going to trade as well as they could do. This +1 is still not done for those Zealots.
Yeah, 1-1 Zerglings shredding through everything there. Got so many sentries and a bunch of Zealots too, and it's just trading off Zerglings here. He's gone off the Hydralisks. And the Colossus is actually going to be very good against the Hydralisk. I wonder if he's trying to, or he's expecting MaNa to maybe throw down the Twilight Council to go over to Archons very fast here. But still, Ling Hydra, one really good strength of it is that you can pick off Phoenixes, and you can actually make a Mutalisk switch, but he's just throwing down the Infestation Pit, so never mind.
I really like the option of Zealot Charge against Hydralisks just to close the gap and make it even more difficult, because either they stay there and take a huge amount of damage, or they micro back, and that's not a position that those Hydralisks want to be in, especially without Muscular Augments that is on the way now. So TLO, he's trying to put on some pressure here. I don't think he's going to get a huge amount done here with this Colossus out and about.
Yeah, he's got the Colossus, but he shouldn't really take that much damage if he has the force fields in the right place. Remember, he's only got a few.
Ooh, and those force fields aren't too bad at all, pinning those Hydralisks up against the wall, and even picking some up as well. Good moves here by MaNa, really making full use of his composition.
Yeah, really nice by MaNa. The Hydralisks were never going to do anything in this game. That's why I said I wondered if he hoped he was going over to Templar fast, but he actually picked that off really easily. But still, MaNa does have double forge, but he's only getting +1 army. Needs +2 attack. Needs to compose himself a little bit. The Cybernetic Core's coming back down. TLO is going directly over into Ultralisk from this position.
There's 2 cheeky Hydralisks burrowed, and they'll stay there for a long time, I should think, until an observer actually comes out. But without that, the Zergling's going to try and go for another counter. He realized that he picked off the wall, but MaNa did a really, really good job of actually reinforcing that and keeping him at bay. So a lot of lost lings there for absolutely nothing for TLO. He tries to die into the third as well, but MaNa's on top of it right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the units lost tab, I mean, you are always wanting to trade Zerglings, but in the units lost tab here, there's a lot of Zerg units that have been killed off, unfortunately. It's 6,100 resources to 2,500. That's because he's just been throwing a lot of Zerglings. So despite TLO, I'm feeling having a nice edge in the early game, it's been a little bit neutralized through the Hydra usage, through the Zerglings not getting the job done. And there is a timing, for sure, before Ultralists are ready. The Ultras Cavern's coming down, but with the Archons now coming in, if MaNa was to identify what's going on, but considering he hasn't even scouted the Hive yet, he may not know, but he may have the inner feeling to go.
He may do. You're right, though. I mean, generally, at this point in the game, a Zerg would be pretty up in supply, right? But MaNa, with the trades that TLO's gone for, he's keeping level pegging with him, and the Ultralisk Cavern's on the way. MaNa, how well are you going to read into this? A few Banelings morphing in as well. Going to do good against those Zealots, not so good against those Archons if they position themselves well.
Yeah, I mean, look at where TLO's lair and Hive is. It's really difficult to scout. It's actually at the 9 o'clock base.
And look at this. TLO's actually picked up a lot of Zerglings up to the north in some Overlords for Ventral Sacks as well. So going for a big counterattack. Yeah,
he's saying that Lings are going to be useless against your army, so why don't I go drop in your main base while I prepare for my Ultralisk?
Yeah.
The timing, though, still exists for MaNa. Oh, MaNa's actually whooping in a bunch of units in the main base. He's actually aiming for the Hive because he doesn't even know where the lair is.
This is about to get crazy.
But he's going to pick off the Ultras Cavern. That's a good pick off for him. That stops TLO's main unit composition and the armor upgrade.
Yeah, you're right. That's a big, big pick off there. Zealot's actually killing that off. Fantastic. He does drop some transfuses on it, but Queen's being assaulted up to the north as well there with those Zealots. And meanwhile, all of those Zerglings are going to get dropped very quickly. The Zealots in the main did get cleaned up, but the Zerglings now being dropped in the main for TLO. It just assaults everywhere, and he's going to pick off the base up to the north as well. This is... I told you it was going to get crazy.
He's hit his timing really well before the Ultralists. They're only just popping out. 2 pop out from this north base. He's already picked him off.
Yeah.
Well, almost picked him off until he recalls home to deal with the army, but this is a good recall home. I like this. Kill the Ultras Cavern, kill the 4th base, come back to defend against the Ling drop, and now what I do as MaNa is move out and take a 4th base. And continue to play from here.
And he only barely just did not get that Templar Archives with those Zerglings. So low, but no cigar there for Mr. TLO. As for now, he's forced to just keep his opponent dancing on the map whilst he gets more units up and running, gets those Ultralists out where he can. But MaNa's going to be gaining momentum with +3 weapons now on the way.
Yeah, and he's going to switch his composition to Immortals for sure. All his plan is at this point is he's already hurt TLO in that timing window.
Yeah.
Now just take a 4th base and build the best army to beat Ultralists. Archons, Immortals, Colossus, you name it, those units.
Extra rubber facility going down as well, knowing that that's super important. He just lose 2 of the Ultralists there as well, though. That's a really, really nice trade for MaNa. TLO is kind of on the ropes here. It's going to be a little bit scary for him. Dark Shrine goes down behind this as well. As MaNa, he's deviating up his tech to the point where it's going to be really, really hard for TLO to account for everything.
Yeah, so MaNa's going to sit back and defend. I really don't think this push out's smart. He's probably recall back if he does go for it. But he'll take a 4th base, switch his army composition up, but at the same time, not leaving TLO the freedom of life. He'll make Dark Templar. He'll go around the map. He'll pick off bases. He'll harass him.
Oh, cheeky little Zerglings here in the main, trying to go for that Templar Archives once again. You got to remember, they do have Adrenal Glands, so they're going to kill off this very, very quickly. And they do get it before that. Zell actually kills him off. And there was Storm researching there as well. So TLO limiting some of those deviations in tech. A fantastic little pick-off.
I still don't think MaNa should be out on the map, man. I swear to God he should be taking a 4th base, but there's creep in the way. He's out in the middle of the map. His army still gets beat. It gets beat right now. It's not strong enough yet. Not enough Immortals, not enough Archons.
Look at how many Ultralisks around.
He actually doesn't have any Immortals. No, he's got 1. 1 Immortal? No way!
Against 10 Ultralisks?
10 Ultralisks with 3 more on the way, and they've fully upgraded Ultralisks too. This is incredibly scary for MaNa. I guess he's going to move out, pick off a base and recall. If he takes a fight, I'm going to lose my mind, man.
Yeah.
Pick off a base and recall home.
He really has to. He could do it in the main base here with these Zealots. He's coming, and he's actually taking out the base up to the north as well here. So MaNa really doing a quite good job. He doesn't... Where's the mothership? Oh, okay, sorry, it's there.
If that gets picked off...
Yeah, if
he's got a recall. He's got a recall
the mothership call! It's out in the open! No, it goes down!
Oh, no, this is so bad. He's going to have to fight. Granted, he's got the position, but any fight on the low ground.
Those Archons tank a lot of
TLO.
damage. And now the Zealots, even in the main, still doing a lot of damage here. They could actually kill off the Ultralisk Cavern as well as do considerably amount in the natural. But no, I say that the Spine Crawlers will be able to clean that up. MaNa killing off the base up to the top left as well. Really limiting how much income TLO has. In fact, he has very, well, level picking.
The Bailey's at the north, Bailey's, oh my god, he's got Bailey's in position.
They're all burrowed.
Oh, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Can't do it on Archons. Oh, he gets Body Observer. Picks off 2 Archons. Oh my god.
So close.
Oh my god, this game is absolutely incredible. A counterattack going on from TLO. Warp Prism just getting units inside the main base still.
Yeah.
I still feel for MaNa though. I think TLO in a heads-up fight still wins.
The DT's chasing him now. All of these. He has no overseers.
DTs are bringing down the army size. MaNa can win this game now.
He has absolutely no overseers. Oh, there you go. GG. MaNa ties it up 1-1. And now, game on. The last game to determine who advances on to the round of 16.
There was like so many interesting topics to talk about, whether it be MaNa loses Mothership Core, Zealots inside the main base, DT's being used to kill the army, TLO having a stronger army until it gets worn down.
What a game.
Jeez. Wow, there was like so much to talk about in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it just ended. Like, that's how fast these players play and think at. We're trying to talk about it, and we can't even get our words out before it's over. There's too many things happening. They play so fast. And incredible game there.
Yeah,
if only the borrowed Banelings would have worked, I think that would have helped out a lot.
If they'd have
detonated on 2 Archons.
Yeah, if they'd have connected with those Colossi at the just at the very end of all of that, that would have been insane. But now MaNa ties things up regardless, 1-1. We go on to the final game of the night. If game 2 is anything to judge by, if we get another game like that in game 3, I'm going to lose my mind.
All right, you know what I said about MaNa earlier? Is cut the crap. Play normal.
No, you're right.
He did much, much better in that game. Much, much better. And I think now that probably showed him the confidence to beat TLO in a straight-up game. So I don't think that he's going to try anything. It depends on the map, though.
Neoplanet.
Neoplanet is a map that it could work on, especially because trying to take a third base, you know, you're always going to be pulled out into the open, which is the problem on Neoplanet. Very similar to Star Station, where you're in the open with your third base, but on Neoplanet S, you're forced to fight in the open.
Yeah.
If TLO threatens the natural, well, at first threaten the third base, Protoss defends the third base on the high ground, TLO goes to the natural, you have to come down and fight in that open area. So this is another difficult map for MaNa to play on. If he chooses a 2-base all-in, I guarantee you it's because of the map, not because he's lacking confidence in playing straight up.
And we shall see. As these guys, I'm under the impression one of them's going over the replay as we get into game number 3 in just a little bit here. But TLO in that game, he was run ragged. He was run ragged. I really do think that TLO playing on this, we've seen it twice already. We've seen it against Terran and we've seen it against Protoss. He spreads himself out and those bases keep getting assaulted. I don't think that TLO can deal with spreading himself out that far when their opponents gather traction in the mid to late game because it's so hard.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that does work in TLO's favor there, despite what you say, is that these bases are just, I'm already banking 5,000 minerals.
That's
what's
true.
300 up there if I replenish the drone, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the main concept of it. But yeah, you get spread too thin, especially if you're defending a base that doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
If you get moved up or something along those lines.
But it's the tech dying off in a main that is a big blow. Imagine if the Ultralisk Cavern hadn't gone down that first time. Scary, scary stuff, and to be able to deal with that.
All right, so we do have the next game underway. Thank you for everyone tuning in, whether you're a casual player, whether you're a professional player, maybe a retired player or something along those lines. So shout out to everyone, especially my man Gregory Fields. I know you're watching right now, buddy, and I hope you're enjoying your day. I know it's very early-ish. Is it maybe early morning,
midday,
if
maybe?
not lunchtime,
Midday, I think.
in San Francisco? So hello to you in America, and hello to all the other Americans too. Thanks for tuning in. We are about to start our last game. Neoplanet S, man.
Sounds good. Sounds good. To finish things off in this PVZ, will TLO advance or will MaNa? Either player representing Europe in the round of 16 would be pretty cool, but TLO, I'm pretty sure after last season's performance, if he goes out now, that's a huge upset.
Yeah, yeah. I think that, I don't know. I don't even want to predict this, man.
After game 2. Crazy stuff. All right, spawning up to the top right-hand corner here as our blue Zerg, we have Mr. Liquid TLO. And spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner, tying up the series as our red Protoss, we have MaNa.
All right, Poland versus Germany in the fight-off to see who moves through to Premier League alongside MMA from today, alongside Stefano and MC from Group B last week, and alongside MVP and Tefl from the opening day of WCS. And of course, Group D will play out tomorrow at the exact same time as every other day when we broadcast, 6 p.m. Central European summertime. And that's 2 days, 2 broadcasts a week, Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be repeating that next week for Group E and Group F. So remember those times, remember those dates, remember the URL, which is Twitch TV/WCS_Europe.
Or you can go and check out a lot of details over at StarCraft2.com/WCS for all your WCS needs, not only Europe, but also America and Korea, that are all getting underway. In fact, Korea's well underway now, actually. We're in the round of 16.
Yes, they started the round of 16 this morning, and we'll be joining them in a couple of weeks' time. And WCSNA will be starting soon as well. 14 spawning pool coming down here by TLO, just in case of the threat of any cannon rushes, anything early. There's a little bit safer. A drone safer, which means a lava earlier for an extra set of Zerglings, or more set of Zerglings, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, useful to have. As well, TLO, he's conservative sometimes about his Zergling production. We only saw 2 to kick things off there in game number 2, so could try and breach a little bit of a wall, as Zerglings still, well, drone's still poking away at this probe at the natural, trying to do that dance. He should be able to get his base down in second, but probe being very annoying. MaNa's doing this well.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. He does get it down though eventually, and we do have the you know, the standard approach, the standard opening here for MaNa coming down, just Nexus followed by Forge. I'm very intrigued on what decision MaNa will make in this game, because that is make or break. That is Premier League or Challenger League, and that's quite big actually when you think of it like that.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Decisions that he has to make in real time. Remember, these games are played out live. He's sitting in his, actually, I really want to say kitchen. Bedroom. When I've watched his stream,
I think it's his bedroom.
Isn't it kitchen?
I don't know.
I remember watching his stream, and there's always like a table behind him and people walking back and forth. I don't think it's in his bedroom.
It's next to a window, right?
All right,
and
so
he's got
any big Mouse MaNa fans, let us know if you think it's kitchen or bathroom or bedroom. I don't know why I said bathroom.
Bathroom. Who was it who looked as if they were I think it was Grubby that people always thought he was streaming in his bathroom because he had like tiles behind him or something. But then he moved downstairs because he got bored of it. Oh, Grubby.
All right, there's the pylon block to make sure he's walled off. Very easily to wall off here on Neoplanet S. Then the probe to complete this off. So yeah, let us know if you think MaNa streams in the kitchen or in his bedroom. I vote kitchen. Clara says bedroom.
I'm going to go bedroom.
But you guys let us know what you think. Remember to hashtag WCS when you let us know.
Yes. I think his brother ends up appearing from time to time as well behind him. Maybe they share a bedroom. I don't know. Anyway, so Neoplanet S, we have that third base going down for TLO once again. This is becoming far more common, taking this base here as a Zerg on this map. And
look at the hidden cybernetics core to really hide what's going on, whether that's going to be Chrono Boost going into it, whether he's going to throw the tech structure right next to it and hide everything. It's an interesting location. I mean, usually, I guess it's interesting because it's okay to have it in the main base, but it's kind of weird that it's thrown straight to the left on that left-hand side wall.
Oh, he hides this because he's going for a really early Stargate and not going for the warp tech.
Well, he's already at 250 gas. What difference does that really make? And that is not me. I spell my name with a U.
Yep.
S-H-A-U-N. Check Wikipedia.
Is your spelling the superior spelling, do you feel?
Yeah.
You think so?
I get the choice to say yes or no, and I'm going to say yes.
Do you know what I've never understood?
What's that?
When you call people Sean and you spell it like Day9 does.
How do you say that then?
Well, I mean, it's Sean, right? People say it's Sean, but S-E-A-N, that doesn't say Sean.
Cian?
It's, well, you know Sean Bean? To me, he's seen Bean. Have you seen Bean recently?
Oh, you're a witty man.
Yeah, man.
All right.
He's always
no
dead.
warp gate research. Stargate is down, but it's not too much of a difference to get warp gate research, right? It depends on what he adds on.
But it's super quick.
Is it a second Stargate?
Ooh.
Okay, warp gate research coming down.
That is weird, now that I think about it, in terms of how much gas he has.
I mean, I guess it affects his minerals a little bit too, not just his gas, because he was kind of low on minerals. But he does throw down the Stargate. In this location, I'd say Hidden Phoenixes. I think they gave him quite a bit of success last time.
No.
That's not how I spell my name.
That's not you. That's not you.
And that's not me. TLO getting a little bit upset by that, but naturally, when everything's online,
I would have.
so I'd say piled Phoenixes.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is a Void Raid doesn't make sense. Phoenix is going out like that. Why would he rush the Stargate? But it's... I don't know. I'm just theorycraft. That's what I do. I sit here, watch games, and think about what people are doing and why.
Yeah, we'll see. Now, we'll see what he wants to do with that. Does he go for an Oracle or something like that? It'd be weird if he did, but it is going to be the Phoenix. So, I still don't get it. It's just earlier, but slightly earlier.
But the Overlord's going to eventually see it, unless it takes a direct route south. Is it going to go left or south? Oh, he gets spotted on the natural. The natural Overlord's the one that spots it, not the one in the main base. But he does see it, so whether it's hidden or not, it doesn't matter anymore for MaNa and TLO.
Yeah, and now just going to push that away as well. So even sees the Phoenix to actually fully confirm what is going on. May have seen it actually when he sent in that natural Overlord. But anyway, with the Evolution Chamber now going down for TLO, just the one, as it doesn't want to commit a huge amount of gas to any kind of upgrades just yet.
I was quite a fast 3 gateways that come down, and now +1 attack coming down. He may follow this up if he has a probe out on the map. We may see a follow-up with +1 attack, but meanwhile he is just across the map with a Mothership Core on Phoenix, just looking for a couple of options. With TLO, though, it's the standard opening, right?
Yeah.
It's the layer as soon as he sees the Stargate, or a little bit earlier in this case. It's the Evolution Chamber +1 attack into the Hydralisk Den. Perfect kind of all-round setup to deal with the majority of Protoss builds here.
Phoenix heading over again, and ideally, if they can't even do the damage, they want to get a little bit of confirmation as to what his opponent's up to, and he should be sharking into the main to have a look around, and, well, feels a little bit wary of what wants to go on. But look at this, MaNa throwing down, pylon in the middle of the map, so...
I think he's going to pressure the third. I mean, the gateways come down, he cut probes a little bit there. So it makes sense, right? Why would you cut probes to add gateways faster if you're not going to use them? And he's got the follow-up robotics facility coming down, but this can hurt TLO. He has 3 Hydros on the way.
Ooh, and he was so close to supply block there as well.
Let's see how well this is going to work out for him. He wants to obviously pin the Queen against the hatch, which he doesn't quite do.
Nope, and he has to be careful with those Phoenix as well, as that Spore Crawler is in place to actually shoo that away. And the drones as well have to be moved to try and save this Queen, but it does get picked up, sniped off as well.
I definitely saved my list for the Hydras that are popping out. He should know they're coming.
Yeah. He has to. I mean, that's what's been going on for a long, long time here in all of these games against him, and he does now actually lift up a few of them.
Yeah,
for Phoenix, with, against separated Hydralisks, really do a very, very good job.
+1 attack isn't done, though, which is the funny thing with this attack, but he's still doing it. So he's picked off the Queen, he's brought down the Spore Crawler.
He could kill the space.
If he kills the space, man, we could see a Protoss play move through instead of a Zerg.
But that's a lot of Hydralisks that do pop out in the same position here. He's got a lot of Zerglings on the way as well, but he's lifting them up. He's doing so well with these Phoenix. They're doing a great job here. Look at the resources lost. 575 to 2,500.
And now +1 attack is done, man.
Yeah, TLO's in a very, very bad spot. That's so many Zealots to contend with.
Really nice build here by MaNa with a follow-up going into the robotics bay and Colossus to take a third base. If he picks off this third man, that is going to be major, major here.
I don't think this would have worked as well if TLO would have taken the other third base, but with this positioning that it is in, TLO is in a lot of trouble. There's still so many Zealots alive. Once again, 825 resources lost to 4,200.
The hatchery's going to fall down, and TLO's going to be in so much trouble if this falls. And it shall.
Oh my god.
Oh, nice build here from MaNa. Really catching his opponent off guard. The pickups have been great from these Phoenixes. Not getting into the drone line, saving his energy.
Apollo, what do you do behind this? Because for TLO now, he's scrambling to defend this, but MaNa is on the way with a Colossus follow-up.
He's supply blocked. He's losing Overlords here. MaNa, very simply, doesn't need to rush out a third base. He's done. I guess you can even bring the Zealots home. Yeah. Like, why would you send them out to death? Just turn around, kill the Zealots, and run away. These Hydras actually do have speeds. Oh, no, they don't, sorry. But you can get back. There's a Colossus, the Sentries. He can actually surround the Hydras if he comes too far, too. Perfect time to pick up, go take a third base, out on the Twilight Council very shortly, and continue to play.
Well, the Spire's up and running, and he's going to try and transition over to Mutalisks from these 4 gases that he has
the Spire come down.
Yeah, I don't... I understand why he's doing this, because does he know a Robo follow-up's on the way?
Yeah, it's a super normal follow-up here for a Robo coming down. Even if he doesn't see it, he should know. The thing is, though, that MaNa hasn't seen it. MaNa's thinking, well, if you throw all your gas into Hydras... I, myself, didn't even see the Spire coming down. I was really thrown away by the build here. But this can work out for him. MaNa needs to go scout, but at the same time, he has 1, 2, 3, 4 active gateways. Stalkers with +1 for now, and a Guardian Shield are fine.
And +1 armor's on the way as well. So that'll finish up in around 80 seconds. For MaNa, as long as he has the anti-air in place, he should be okay. TLO might try and force some wonky base trade. He cannot take this fight straight
he'll
up.
come back. He'll come back. The Mothership core will come back. Maybe recall. Just recall straight back.
Oh yeah, well you
Just
MaNa.
recall, safe. Just recall. Recall here. Don't lose too many probes.
And he's only bringing the Mothership core back.
Okay, so what he's going to do is warp in nothing but Stalkers and defend with the Photon Overcharge. That's what he's going to do.
He lost the Mothership core. The Hydralisk just picked it off.
All right, so he's got cannons on the natural. He's got another Colossus being made, and he has 6 gateways or so. And 3 Phoenixes, man. Look, 3 Phoenixes now coming in too. Don't forget about those guys. While counter-attacking at the same time. I guess a mass recall would have been a bit overkill, but it still would have done the same job.
Well, yeah, it certainly would have done. I mean, TLO now, he is once again run completely ragged. How is he supposed to make this work against the army that MaNa has amassing? He's pushing. MaNa pushes on forwards once again. He knows that his opponent is scared. And there you go.
MaNa does it.
Wow.
He does it over the tournament, well, not tournament, but group favorite here.
Yeah.
Everybody expecting number 1, TLO, most likely MMA number 2. But we see MMA, the son of Boxer, come through first place, followed by Mousesports MaNa, knocking, not stuck, knocking the 5th place WCS finisher from last season.
Wow.
To Challenger League, knocking
and this
the WCS Season 1 representative of Europe to Challenger.
And this is MaNa's first victory over TLO since 2011 in series. If there's any time to bring that victory out, today, it's now.
Today. That impressive performance there. That's, mind-blowing that MaNa can be able to do that after not winning for a couple of years against him, to bring it out when it matters. That build was so crisp, though, to be able to bring down that 3rd, which is all the hype to bring that down.
All right, well, that concludes the games for today, but today is not over just yet, as after the break, we shall have an interview with the victor, MaNa himself. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned to see what he has to say. Welcome back, guys, to WCS Europe Premier Season 2, and now we have the victor. We're moving on to the round of 16 on the line. We have Mr. MaNa. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm feeling so relieved. Like, really, I'm so happy and so relieved now.
Well, to ask you a question regarding that, you lost the first series to TLO in the group, and then you came back and were able to be victorious in the second series. Now, it's important to note that actually, in broadcasted matches, you actually haven't beaten TLO in a series since like 2011. So can you firstly talk us through the second series, and then kind of elaborate a little bit on that?
Actually, I didn't know that I was like had such a bad record against TLO. But yeah, that's understandable. He's a very good player. Talking about the second series, I was very happy when I could land the force field on the ramp with the first sentry drop, but then his defense was just perfect, and I was like, my hands were shaking a lot, and I couldn't do everything I wanted to. So in the end, I lost the game because he defended the force field drop very, very nicely. Then on Whirlwind, the game was very shaky. Like, he fought, I was pretending to do some kind of gateway pressure, and he fell for that, so he made like a lot of links. So then I could do some damage with the Phoenixes, and then the game was back and forth. In the end, I won probably because my army was just better designed, and he made not really cost-efficient trades. And in the game 3, he was expecting me to take the 3rd with Immortal and a Colossus, so whatever. And well, I was aiming to do a 4-gate pressure, and it ended up way, way better than I expected.
Did you believe you'd beat him in the second time you were playing him? Did you think you could do it?
After the first series, he played like very, very good, like incredibly good. Like, I had no chance versus him. And after the first game, on the second series, I lost quite convincingly because he was defending very well. I didn't think I had much chance, but then I remember that I was watching a lot of like motivational videos, and whenever you doubt you will lose, so I was not doubting in myself, and I did my best until the very end, and it ended up I was being victorious.
Okay, awesome. Protoss has been really underrepresented in the WCS Premier League. In Europe especially, I think we had Baby Knight, who made it to the round of 8 and then lost there.
And that's it.
You're now the second Protoss player alongside MC. There was an interview from Home Story Cut where you said you're feeling back on form. Are you back on form, and what can we expect from you for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I fought like that at Home Story Cup, and now I saw how many mistakes I could have done in the very, very important for me match. Then I see a lot of mistakes I am doing, so I need to fix everything. and hopefully for the round of 16 I'll be way more prepared than I was for today. So thanks to these matches that I was so nervous, I could see a lot of mistakes from me, so I can fix them.
I was speculating going into that last series that perhaps you would have rather have played MMA as opposed to TLO. Is there any truth behind that after we spoke briefly before the group happened?
Yeah, that's true. I actually wanted to play MMA once again. I wanted to get a revenge from previous WCS season, but maybe we will meet each other in round of 8, because I don't think we can meet in round of 16.
No.
So I was feeling pretty confident in PvT. Like I've been practicing PvT quite a lot since it was my weakest matchup for some time, and it's back to my best matchup. I got a lot of knowledge about PvT, as well as I changed my style a little bit, so I feel much more confident in that. So that's why I also wanted to play MMA.
All right, final question from me is you spoke to me the other day on Skype, and you told me your goal for the year. You want to put that out there to tell everyone else, all your fans and followers?
I think it's clear to say, and I'm pretty sure it's every player's goal for this year, or at least a goal that they want to achieve, is I want to go to BlizzCon to be one of the 16 players at BlizzCon for the global finals for WCS. I always wanted to be part of BlizzCon, always wanted to be part of Blizzard tournament offline. So that's my biggest dream this year, and I will do everything I can to be there.
Finally, I know we have some Polish people watching. Would you like to say anything in Polish to your fans, perhaps?
Nothing in Polish, but I want to thank them for support, because I want everybody to understand that. I know my Polish fans are very supportive as well, but I want every fan understand me. So thank you very much for the support. Hopefully this is the first step of the big MaNa comeback that I used to be in 2012. So keep on cheering for me, please.
Strong words. Strong words. Thanks, MaNa.
Right, thanks, man. And we'll see you at the round of 16. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Bring
much.
sweets.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bring sweets.
Sweets.
I will, man. I will definitely do. Bye-bye.
See
Bye.
you. For anyone else that didn't get that, MaNa at every event brings a bag load of sweeties. And we do like to dibble our hands into his bag of sweeties, his Polish sweeties.
It's not just sweets, though. It's like bread as well.
Bread,
this
chocolate,
is pretty good bread.
you name it. He has everything. Yeah, it'll be good to see him here playing live in Cologne. And as mentioned, he joins 5 other players for a total of 6 so far in the round of 32. Day 1, MVP, and TEFL. 2 Polish players now so far. Poland representing well. Group B, Stefano MC. And today, Group C finishes with MMA, the return of MMA. And of course, Mousesports MaNa knocking out TLO. Great 6 players so far.
Yeah, fantastic indeed. And that wraps things up for today, guys. A huge thanks to you for tuning in. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for Group D, as we shall be starting off at 6 p.m. Who are the players for that?
That's Damaga, Daishi, Duck, and Haziwobs, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the 4 players that will be playing tomorrow. So it's 6 p.m. local time here, Central European summertime. Did it this time. Tomorrow we'll be back once again.
We shall be. So this is going to be bye from me and bye from Sean. We'll see you tomorrow.